How you doing, everybody? Welcome back to Larry's Anything Goes. Today, I'd like to talk about my little rant in regards to friends and friendship and all that other good stuff. Friendship is kind of a dying breed nowadays because of all the social media that you got going on. A lot of people are so connected with the internet, but they're not connected from a face-to-face standpoint and engaging in real conversations on a regular basis, having the time to hang out, all sorts of things. It's not like the back in the 1990s when you go and just grab a drink with your buddy. Majority of the time, your buddy probably doesn't even live in the same city, or if he does live in the same state as you, most likely him or her might end up living in an hour or 2 hours away from you. You just never know what the circumstances might be. But the priorities of having a decent friendship, I think, is not only healthy for people, but I think just a necessity. It's in a sense like having water. It's never healthy to live like a hermit and constantly only continuously induce yourself and your life and your happiness around technology and social media and the entertainment industry, or just, the media and television in general. I mean, it's always great to be entertained by people and sports activities and things of that nature. But if you're not really connecting with people, even outside of your relationship, to engage with people, to explore ideas, especially if you're trying to start a business, your success rate is probably not going to be as high. I mean, if you look at the great entrepreneurs of today who appear to be the biggest, not only homebodies, but somewhat of a reclusive mentality. They're not really they're more of an introvert, than an extrovert, But their success, a lot of that is tied to their relationships, their friendships, the communities that they reside in, and how engaged they are in those specific communities that they reside in. So no matter how much technology we have, no matter where robotics takes us into the future, still having that human contact with one another so that you can create certain products, certain businesses. Those all really not just stem from the amount of knowledge that you have, the amount of degrees that you have, and the amount of certifications that you have, but those really stem from the amount of relationships that you have and the relationships that you're willing to build. And I just think that's something that's not talked about enough, especially with guys, because you got a lot of guys that's always just trying to prove how tough they are, and some days, they just overdo it with the over macho-ness, and, to each his own. I'm nobody to judge, but having a male conversation in regards to, hey, man, let's keep this bond, because if we keep this bond, we can do X, Y, Z together as far as business. We can collaborate. We can work on different projects. We might even obtain specific contracts with one another or different entities, and we're able to grow from there. I mean, heck, that's how countries have been built. That's how corporations, big or small, have been built in regards to relationships and partnerships and a cohesive force, to do whether it's good or bad. You need to have a team, and you need to be willing to work with one another. And if you're doing it via digital, then that's great, because you're still having that relationship with one another. There's people who have worked on projects with one another and they've never met each other face to face, but they're Skyping each other, they're Googling each other, using the WhatsApp app, whatever, all sorts of technology in order for them to figure out how they're going to best proceed with their idea or their ideas. So I think friendship is just something that should be talked about a little bit more. Not only just friendship, but partnerships all at the same time, because nobody can do this by themselves. I'm not trying to just do it all by myself in regards to real estate, in regards to my YouTube channel. I'm trying to develop partnerships and other friendships, because those things can last forever. And if they're, useful for both parties, then why not? And that's just one of those things with a lot of technology. It's still, in a sense, it brings us together, but it separates us all at the same time. So it's just those two different things that I don't think is talked about enough. And that's just wanted to give my little perspective on that. I think people should try their darndest to engage with each other more and more, not just through technology, but if that's the only means that you can, then great. Utilize it for good, and don't just utilize it just to entertain yourself. Because entertainment is great, but unless you're an overpaid entertainer, entertainment doesn't really pay the bills. That's usually everybody's quest once they leave high school, college, the military, etc., and so forth. as they're trying to pay those bills first, and then of course make themselves a lot more successful when it comes to other projects, when it comes to other things, whether it's with family or with people you consider family, but they're not blood, they don't have your same last name, not even by marriage, because bloodline doesn't really make you family in my book. It's what's truly in your heart, how good of a person you are, and what not only what I'm willing to do for you, but what you're willing to do for me, whether the times are good or whether the times are bad. So a lot of times, depending on your family, because I know everybody's family has drama, family can be overrated, and certain specific relationships can be overrated. So if I call you my brother, I have a brother and I call him my brother and he is my brother, so we got that respect. But if you're somebody outside of that and I call you my brother, I mean it, because it's not just about the bloodline and the last name. It's about who you are and how you are. And I would imagine a lot of people feel the same way, because a lot of relatives can either be your sunshine or they could be your headache. They could be a nice glass of water or they could just be a nice glass of a migraine. It's just how you look at it. So, and with the people that you surround yourself with, whether family or not, that matters. And if they're toxic, you got to cut them out. Like the old saying goes, you don't treat a cancer, you cut it out. And if somebody's a cancer or toxic in your life, family or no family, they got to get cut out. That's what it is. So do your best to keep positive vibes with your friends and families, and hopefully you'll make it through a better day. It's Sunday. Hopefully we all have a great positive week. Let's connect. Let's network. Let's do better, because that's all we got to do. Take it easy. Until next time.